आदिसेवितं कपेत्तजम्बो फलचारुभक्षणम् उमासुतं सो कविनाशकार्यक्रम नमामि विघ्नेश्वरपादपङ्कजम् श्रीरामचन्द्र कृपालु भजुमन हरण भवभयदारुणं नवकञ्जलोचन कञ्जमुखकर कञ्जपदकञ्जारुणं श्रीराम जय राम श्रीराम जय राम कंदर्प अगणित अमित छबिनव नील नीरद सुंदरम पटपीतमानहो तडित रुचि शुचि नौमि जनक सुतावरम श्रीराम जय राम श्रीराम जय राम भजो दीन बंधु दिनेश दानव दैत्यवंश निकंदनम रघुनंद आनंद कंद कौशल चंद दशरथ नंदनम श्रीराम जय राम श्रीराम जय राम सिर मुकुट कुंडल तिलक चारु उदारो अंग विभूषणम आजानु भुज सर चाप धर संग्राम जित खर दूषणम श्रीराम जय राम श्रीराम जय राम इति वदति तुलसीदास शंकर शेषमुनि मनरंजनम मम हृदय कंजनिवास कुरु का मादिखलदल गंजनम श्रीराम जय राम श्रीराम जय राम मनुजाहि राचेहु मिलहि सोबरो सहज सुंदर सावरो करुणा निधान सुजान सीलो स्नेहु जानत रावरो श्रीराम जय राम श्रीराम जय राम एहि भांति गौरी अशेष सुनि सिया सहित हिया हरषि अले तुलसी भवानी पूजे पुनि पुनि मुदित मन मंदिर चली श्रीरामचंद्र कृपालो भजो मन हरण भव भय दारुणम नवकंजलोचन कंजमुखकर कंजपद कंजारुणम श्रीराम जय राम श्रीराम जय राम हे 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 राम जग में साचो तेरो नाम हे राम हे राम हे राम हे राम तो अंतर्यामी सबका स्वामी, तू अंतर्यामी सबका स्वामी, तू ही तो है राधा का श्याम। हे राम हे राम हे राम हे राम, तू जगधाता विश्व विधाता, तू जगदाता विश्व विधाता, तेरे चरणों में चारों धाम। हे राम हे राम हे राम हे राम, तू ही बिगाड़े तू ही सवारे, तू ही बिगाड़े तू ही सवारे, इस जग के सारे काम। हे राम हे राम हे राम हे राम, तू जगदाता विश्व विधाता, तू जगधाता विश्व विधाता, तू ही शुभ है तू ही श्याम। हे राम हे राम हे राम हे राम, तू अंतर्यामी सबका स्वामी, तू अंतर्यामी सबका स्वामी, तू ही तो है राधा का श्याम, तू ही तो है राधा का श्याम। हे राम हे राम हे राम हे राम, तू जगधाता विश्व विधाता, तू जगदाता विश्व विधाता, तू ही तो है राधा का श्याम। हे राम हे राम हे राम हे राम, तू ही बिगाड़े तू ही सवारे, तू ही बिगाड़े तू ही सवारे, इस जग के सारे काम। हे राम हे राम हे राम हे राम, तू अंतर्यामी सबका स्वामी, तू अंतर्यामी सबका स्वामी, तू ही तो है राधा का श्याम। हे राम 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 हे राम।
Welcome to Satsang. We're here as the monsoon rain is beginning to fall, hence inside the beautiful, beautiful sacred Jopari instead of on our rooftop. It's such a beautiful time. Either way, no rain, we get the waters of Mother Ganga. We get the rooftop. We get the sunset. With the rain, we get the sacred Jopari and the sacred rain. That flowing of the water that nourishes and nurtures our bodies, our minds, our hearts. It's such a beautiful time of the year. Starting as always with a question that's come in advance. I'm trying to find my path in spirituality, but my rebellious nature is taking me away from going deeper and being more and more stable and committed to one focus. How do I become a happy spiritual warrior? Your nature may be rebellious, but that which pulls us spiritually away from focusing, from committing, happens even to those who are not rebellious by nature. The ego is so attached to its own way of being. It's so attached to what I know, how I know it, how I want it to be, how I think it is, who I am, what my identity is, how I live, that it doesn't want to let go. And spiritually, we have to let go. There's a beautiful poem that says, as children bring their broken toys with tears for us to mend, I brought my broken dreams to God because He was my friend. But then, instead of leaving Him in peace to work alone, I hung around and tried to help with ways that were my own. At last I snatched them back and I cried, God, how could you be so slow? What could I do, He said. You never did let go. So if we can't let go, we can't evolve spiritually. If I don't let go of Delhi, I can't get to Rishikesh. Whether I'm in an airplane or a train or a car, a bus, a bicycle, my own feet, whatever it may be, however I'm planning on traveling, if I don't let go of Delhi, I can't get anywhere. If I don't let go of where I'm stuck. I can't move anywhere. It's true physically, as every parent or teacher or aunt or uncle knows. You get kids playing on the jungle gym for the first time, hanging on the bars, and the parents are there and they say, "Let go, I'll catch you." And of course, in the beginning, the kids are afraid. But then they do. And of course, you catch them. And then spin them around and they laugh and they love it. And then they say, "Oh, I want to do it again. I want to do it again." But if they never let go, they would never know the joy, the exuberance of the jump. They would never know the exhilaration of that even very short fall through the air until you catch them. That makes them then giggle and laugh and again. If we don't let go, we can never experience anything. And so, on our spiritual path, the greatest hurdle is my attachment to where I am. Call it a rebellious nature. Call it your ego. But that is what keeps us from committing. It's not a matter of just focus. It's not as simple as I've got a thali of 10 things to eat. I've got 3 vegetables and dal, and I've got a chapati, and I've got rice, and I've got yogurt, and oh my God, where do I start first? It's not just about focus. It's not just about staying with one thing. It's not about just tenacity. Much of life is getting projects done, getting work done, getting anything done. Requires focus, requires tenacity. But spirituality and our spiritual practice, it requires a bit more than that. So yeah, the discipline is needed. When that alarm goes off, you get out of bed. When it's the time to meditate, you switch off your phone or you leave it in the other room. You actually walk over to the place where you meditate. You actually make yourself sit down. But as we all know, sitting down and folding your legs does not a meditation make. The mind is still all over the place. And what's needed here, aside from techniques of calming the mind, of bringing the mind, aside from that, what's needed is the willingness to let go. The willingness to drop into newness. Something different. Something deeper. Something truer than where I was. And so what I would say is, rather than thinking about how do I tame my inner rebel, think about, what am I holding on to? What is it in me that I don't want to let go of? What aspect of my identity do I not want to let go of? And it might be something as simple as the guy who's not disciplined. The woman who never does what she says she's going to do. And so, of course, to do what you say you're going to do would dispel that. But it might also be something a lot deeper. A lot of us hold identities from our childhood. And as dysfunctional as they may be, we actually hold on to them for some very deep psychological reasons. If we were told, for example, either directly or indirectly, by a parent, by our mom or our dad, that we were stupid, or that we were worthless, or that we were lazy, or that we were never going to be anything, or that we weren't as good as our sister or our brother, or our cousin or a neighbor. And we carry that identity with us. You would think, and it would certainly make common sense, to say, well, God, I should burst through that as quickly as I can. That's just holding me back. And yes, if meditation can help me break through that patterns, yes, sign me up. Yes, let's start right now. But when you look deeply, what you find is that there's actually a lot of times an inner sense of loyalty to that mother or father who told us something or taught us something that today is holding us back. And a lot of times there's actually unconscious and subconscious parts of ourselves that are afraid to break through what we learned as children, no matter how difficult or damaging it might be, because in a way that would not be loyal to the parent who told us that. And a lot of people actually lose a lot of opportunity in life to live the lives that they are supposed to live out of some unworked through loyalty to a belief that a parent had, or to something that a parent said during a bad mood or a difficult time in his or her life. And so if you find that you are stuck, if you find that you really are not able to allow yourself to transform spiritually, or to transform on other levels. We see this happen in careers, we see this happen in relationships. If a parent tells us, again, either directly with their words or just indirectly through how they treat us, that we're not lovable, that we're not good enough, we may literally deprive ourselves of love in order to prove them right, in order not to have to face that internal discomfort of going against what our parents taught us. And this is where it's so important to bring in that emotional healing that sometimes actually is what's needed to enable us to do the spiritual work, to be able to help ourselves understand, I'm not being disloyal by finding peace where my mom or my dad never could. I'm not being disloyal by not becoming an alcoholic or a drug addict like my mom or my dad. I'm not being disloyal by proving that thing that they said in a moment that they most surely regret decades later, by proving that it's not true. That's not disloyalty. There's a beautiful, beautiful poem by Khalil Gibran, who's one of my favorite mystic poets, who speaks about parenting. And he talks about, and I apologize for the paraphrasing, but he speaks about parents as bows from which arrows go forth, and how it's the bow's duty to be still and the arrow's duty to go forth. And that neither is better or worse, that the bow doesn't have to feel badly that it is stuck there, that God loves the bow that is stable just as much as he loves the arrow that flies forth. And so if you find yourself keeping yourself stuck to an identity or to a pattern or to a habit or to a certain value, maybe you were raised in a family that was told girls don't do those things. Girls should always be just a little less smart than the boy in her life. Girls should always be just a little bit less successful than the man in her life. Shouldn't be too smart. You don't want to make him feel threatened. Or maybe we were told, don't speak unless spoken to. Just sit down and look pretty. Maybe we were given all kinds of cultural values, either of a broader culture or just of our family culture. This is how we do things. We sweep it all under the rug. We don't talk about our feelings. Boys don't cry. We don't show any weakness. We don't look at things truthfully. We just have, a batch of chocolate chip cookies, and then we all feel better. Maybe that's the family culture we learned. We just eat away our problems. Don't feel that you are somehow being disloyal to the family, to the parents, to the family culture, to prove that wrong. That's the role of the arrow from the bow. Children are supposed to take what they're given and build on it and grow from it. The beautiful, lush soil does not expect the seed to blossom only within it. The soil doesn't get hurt and upset when the seed blossoms out of the soil and breaks forth from the ground and grows into a tree. I've never heard of soil saying, come back, come back, come back. How dare you? We're ground people. We don't grow. We don't flower. We don't fruit. We're the dirt. Of course not. And in the same way, that out of the soil, flowers blossom, trees blossom, in the same way, out of our upbringing, whatever it may have been, our dharma is to grow, to burst forth through that ground, whether it's soft soil or hard frost. Our dharma is to burst forth through it and to grow and to flower and to be that arrow. So ask yourself, what is it in you that doesn't think that you are supposed to have a spiritual awakening? It's not just laziness. And I say that specifically to you because I've been watching you for so long. You're deeply committed. You're deeply disciplined. It's not that. And that's for all of you. All of you, not just the one who asked this question, but for all of you who find yourself that no matter how many vows you take, no matter how many times you say you're going to meditate, you're going to go deeper on your spiritual path, or that you're going to change how you are emotionally, that you're going to stop being so anxious or so jealous or so angry. And no matter how much you pledge, it doesn't happen. Ask yourself, what is it in you that doesn't think you deserve that? What is it in you that you're holding on to? Because while laziness, sloth, certainly one of the deadly sins, it's not to blame for everything. So don't write yourself off as just lazy or rebellious. There may be some deeper stuff going on, and it's beautiful to be able to look. All of this are just pathways into the truth of ourselves. So have a deeper look.
What is your favorite verse from the Bhagavad Gita? Can you please give us an insight into that verse?
Favorite. So many are coming to mind. Just a moment. God. 700 incredible verses with so much teaching. Well, all right, we'll start anywhere. So, I don't think I can say a favorite. One of my favorite verses is a verse that Lord Krishna is speaking about the right type of offering. And I love this verse because it builds also on what we were just speaking about not being enough, not having enough. And some of us even feel like that for God, that we're not enough for God. There's a beautiful verse in which Lord Krishna says, Patram pushpam phalam toyam, yo me bhaktya prayachati, tadaham bhaktyupratam ashnami prayatatmanaha. What it means is, whether it's a leaf, flower, piece of fruit, some water, whatever it is that the devotee offers me with love and devotion, I accept it and enjoy it with love. And I love that verse for so many reasons. I'll speak just about a couple of them. The first reason that I love it is it makes it so obvious that it's not about the what, it's about the how. It's not about God saying, do this for me or that for me. It's about God saying, live for me, love me, be devoted to me, whatever you do. Do it for me. Whatever it is. There's another verse actually about that. I'll come to that in a moment. But whatever it is that you do it for me. Whatever you have, you've got a leaf, great. You've got a flower, great. You've got an apple, great. You have nothing but a drop of water, great. Because what you've got is love. And that's the most important point. It makes it very clear that a gold-covered Mercedes, given without love, is not what God wants. It reminds me of a beautiful story that Puja Swamiji shares about a young boy who's in temple with his dad, and it's the time where they're all supposed to close their eyes and pray silently. And the boy closes his eyes and he says to God in his mind, he says, God, I don't know any of the prayers. I haven't learned them all yet. He said, the only thing I know by heart is the alphabet. I learned it in school. And he said, but I know that all the prayers come out of this alphabet. And so I'm just going to sing the alphabet for you. And you can make whatever prayer you would like. And so the little boy closes his eyes and he sings A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And he goes through the whole alphabet. And Puja Swamiji always says, he says, you know, God is so much happier with that little boy, with his love-filled alphabet chanting, than with those who can chant the most perfect Sanskrit mantras, but chant it with no feeling, no love in their hearts. And so this mantra makes it so clear. Even if all you've got is a drop of water, offer it with love. And it's not that Lord Krishna says, it'll do until you get that Mercedes. He didn't say, I accept it temporarily until something better comes along. You know, the offering of the recession. He didn't say that. He accepts it with love, enjoys it with love. It means that's what God wants. And I love that verse for another reason as well. If, out of all the things in the world that Krishna could have spoken about, I mean, here they are standing in a battlefield, right? When most of us speak, if we have to give examples, metaphors, we're going to use things around us. We're going to use something that I just saw or something I just heard. It's how the brain works. Jo samne, that's what is in the mind. So Lord Krishna is standing in the middle of a chariot, in the middle of a battlefield. He could have said, whatever the devotee offers me, be it an arrow, be it a wheel, right? There were lots of arrows, lots of wheels. Be it the rein of a horse. I mean, if all he was looking to do was to choose kind of low quality, inexpensive, not very special items, he could have said the rein of a horse, a single broken arrow, a muddy wheel. I mean, he could have said anything. But he chose things that are what? They're natural. They come to us from Mother Earth. There were no leaves right in front of his eyes. There was no fruit in that chariot with Arjun, not that I know of anyway. I don't think Arjun was having fruit snacks in the middle of the battle. But he gave these examples. 4 things he gave, all of which come to us of Mother Nature. To teach us, to remind us, nature is sacred. Offer me nature. And remember, it's sacred. Because of course, if you offer something to God, whatever it is, it becomes sacred, it's holy. Our leaves are holy. Our flowers are holy. Our fruit is holy. Our water is holy. It's sacred. And that's the other reason I love the verse. Because 4 out of 4 things were all from Mother Nature. Which means that which is dearest to God, right after our devotion, right after our love, is what? Mother Nature. So while we protect our love and protect our devotion, do whatever we can to increase it, we remember to protect and to preserve and to care for Mother Nature. If not because we care about the earth itself, if not because we care about future generations, well, maybe because it's what Lord Krishna has mentioned as offerings to him.
Before we decide to take sannyas, must we first make sure the livelihoods of our dependents are secure?
So sannyas, the path of renunciation. As I've said many times in different occasions, it's not a running away from, it's not a letting go of your duties. It's not a falling back on your duty. It's a recognition of a very clear dharma. It's a recognition of your purpose, of your meaning. Never should taking sannyas be something that is a failure to fulfill a duty. When I was going to take sannyas, Puja Swamiji made me go back to America and take my parents' blessings. And of course, it never would have been something that I could do if there was even the slightest possibility that my parents wouldn't be able to take care of themselves financially. By God's grace, I was in a situation where I didn't have to work to make money to give them, to support them. But if I were in a situation, I'm an only child, I don't have brothers or sisters. If I were in a situation where my parents were going to be financially dependent on me in their old age, there's no way that he would have given me permission to take sannyas. So, yes, on the one hand, as our duty, as our dharma, when we open ourselves up to the world, service of the world, giving and giving and giving, like the sun, like Mother Ganga to the world, we have to realize our family is also part of the world. There's no teaching that says, thou shalt serve the world, except the people who actually gave you birth. Or thou shalt serve the world, except those who love you the most. That's not a spiritual teaching. And so yes, on the one hand, there's absolutely a responsibility to not run away from one's duty in taking care of family members. And simultaneously, there's a great importance at understanding what that responsibility means. Because everyone, of course, has free will, and everyone, of course, has abilities and make their own decisions. So if it were, for example, your children instead of your parents that you were thinking about, and you had given them an education, given them a great education, given them all of the wonderful opportunities, it's not your duty to stand there and make sure that they make every right decision in their life. You've planted the seeds, you've watered it, you've shined the sun on it. That seed has now blossomed and sprouted. It's doing its thing. And so this is where, even for people who aren't taking sannyas at young ages, when we speak about the ashrams of life, of moving from brahmacharya ashram phase to grihastha ashram phase to vanprastha ashram phase to sannyasa ashram phase, even in what's considered the most normal, standard dharmic life, you're still supposed to move away. You are not supposed to stand there and watch over your children as seeds and your grandchildren as seeds and make sure that they sprout the right way and grow the right type of fruit. You're supposed to be on that vanprastha ashram and sannyasa ashram phase of life anyway. In terms of taking sannyas younger, though, in what would normally be considered the householder phase of life, if you have people who are dependent upon you, young children, elderly parents, who have no other way of taking care of themselves, it's your duty to take care of them. But young children grow. Young children become adults. And they develop the ability to take care of themselves. Whether they're going to do it the way that you think they should or not, that's irrelevant. At that point, you could say that your responsibilities are completed if you're feeling that dharmic pull to take sannyas. If not, by all means, stay and continue to guide them through different phases. But the way that the question was asked, no, it's not your responsibility to make sure that all of your family members have well-paying livelihoods before you can fulfill your dharma of sannyas. You definitely want to make sure not to run out on people who are singularly dependent on you and who have no other way to take care of themselves. Not just that they have gotten habituated to you providing for them because they'd rather not work or they're lazy. That's not your responsibility. But if they're young children or aged parents, then yeah, you have a duty to them. But otherwise, everyone has their own karmic package. And everyone has their own free will and their own path that they have to walk. And it's not your responsibility to be there and make sure that everyone is completely set everywhere they're supposed to be. There's a great expression that says you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And so if you've done your part, leave the rest in God's hands. Have faith. Have faith in their own intellect, their own ability, their own karmic package. And have faith in God. Because you definitely have a responsibility to your own dharma. That's for sure. So you want to be sure to fulfill that before the years of your life run out. Have a beautiful evening, and we'll see you all on Thursday again, same time, for Sacred Satsang. Have a beautiful, beautiful evening, beautiful day, beautiful next 2 days, until Thursday.